Wake up everybody, we got stuff to do. Well, as you can see behind me, it's another wonderful day in Northeast Ohio. It's probably about 40 degrees, maybe 45. Wind's blowing, rain's falling. I was really hoping that the weather would be on our side today. Clearly it is not, but we got a pop-up out here, or as I'd like to say, shop on the go. As you see behind me, we're working on this 1970 C20 Chevy. Really cool truck. If you take a look, some of the patina on this truck. I love the patina on this truck. It's so cool. I'd show you the rest of it, but it's raining. And I'm wet enough. So, really cool story behind this truck. This truck belongs to one of Kayvon's friends named TJ. This was his dad's truck. He bought it almost new, back in the 70s, I would say, probably. A really cool story around how he bought it. I'm not gonna get into all that, but when they bought it, it had a camper on it. This thing has been to California. It's been all over the place. They took this thing everywhere and went camping. Did some really cool stuff in it. Originally, this truck had a 292 6-cylinder, you know, 6 in a row, ready to tow. And then his dad put a couple, I think he had a 350 in it. He didn't like that too much. He said it'd pass everything but a gas station. And I guess it was pretty tired when he put it in there. It was a tired old engine. Went through oil, so they found another engine, a low mileage 305. I do believe it was fuel injected, but they switched it over, put an intake on it, went back to carbureted, because back then fuel injection was pretty new. So the old school guys liked their carburetors, they knew how to work on them, so that's what they put back on this thing. We'll get the hood open, take a look. I already popped it. We were obviously looking around in here and everything, so as you can see, it's got the 305 in there, an assortment of air filters. Got a 2-barrel carburetor. So it's been sitting since 2011. 13 years this thing's been sitting here. He used to daily drive it back then, got a newer truck, so he wanted to park it, and really hasn't had time to do any work on this. And I know he would like to see it running again. It was his dad's truck. It means something to him, which means something to me, because one, I love working on this kind of stuff. Bringing something like this back to life means a great deal to me. Kayvon's laughing in the background because I am like a kid in a candy store right now. I'm so excited to be working on this. I haven't had the opportunity to get out and work on stuff like this yet, or lately anyways, so I am ecstatic. It's hard to keep my nerves down. We've done this intro like 36 and a half times because I'm so excited. So, but basically today what we want to do is see if we can get this thing to bark off, see if we can get it to pop off and maybe run a little bit. We're gonna get the engine blown off before we pull the air cleaners off and start digging in. Obviously we're gonna go through it before, or go through a couple of things before we try to pop it off. We're gonna make sure it turns. One, it's been sitting 13 years. It's a small block Chevy, so it'll turn, it'll run. Make sure it turns. We might pull a spark plug or two, see what they look like. But there was nothing wrong with it when he parked it. He, like I said, got a new truck and didn't want to keep driving this one. So honestly, there's really no reason that it shouldn't run. The engine should still have pretty low miles on it. When his dad put the engine in it, he said he was getting up there in age, so he didn't really drive it all that much. He might have taken it to get gravel, or he had a coal furnace in his garage, so he'd run and get a load of coal. So he didn't drive it too terribly often, so he really didn't put a lot of miles on it. TJ said he daily drove it for about 2 or 3 years, and he didn't drive it, you know, all over the place, so it should still be fairly low miles, which is pretty cool. So just gonna do a couple things just to make sure we don't you know, break an ear off the engine trying to start it and it's seized up or something. And then we'll dump some fuel down the yap and see if she'll bark. All right, we're gonna get all this crapola blown off of here.
Debris.
Yeah, see all the debris. So he's got a lot of squirrels. You can see on the ground out here. Actually, here, come here, I'll show you something real cool. You might have a squirrel problem if the inside of your cab looks like this. Yikes. That's a lot of squirrels.
It's a lot of nuts.
A lot of nuts. So, alright, let's get all this stuff blown off of here. Wow. That's a lot of stuff.
Some squirrel's gonna be mad as hell. He's sitting on his house.
He's been evicted. This is the eviction notice, squirrel. If you're in here, make like a tree and leave. I'm too short. You know, I could have been made about 3 or 4 inches taller. I don't think that's too much to ask for. Maybe I can find a doctor that can stretch my knees or something. Nope, try not. It's in my mouth. It's in my retinas. Oh God. Oh, I'm okay. Okay. Oh. There's a lot of stuff in there. Okay. So, quick story. The bumper used to be flush, and his dad was a millwright, so he was pretty familiar with a welder and a torch and all that stuff. So he decided he lengthened the horns for the bumper a little bit, made it a shelf bumper basically, and he noticed that there was a lot of trucks that had like an aftermarket spare tire holder up on the front here. So he basically made one himself. This thing's pretty cool. So this threads off of here. Well, it turns a little, but anyways, this thing here hooked into one of the lug holes. And then basically you spun the wheel and it tightened up against the bumper, and that's what held his spare tire on. TJ found out later that with the spare tire on there, it kind of overheated. This shroud and these radiator supports or radiator mounts up here are aftermarket. So after he put that stuff on, it took the spare tire off. You know, it stayed a little cooler. Got to get airflow through them radiators, so the shroud makes a big difference. No spare tire on the front. And then this little guy, well, don't worry about that little guy. No, I'm just kidding. His dad, he was like an amateur radio enthusiast. He liked like ham radio kind of, or I don't really know what that is for sure, so whatever. But he would take his antenna out, or like a tower that would extend like 20 feet in the air, and he'd stick it in there so he could talk to his buddies wherever they were, if they were, you know, a ways from home. I know he said he went out to California. He didn't really say all the other places he went. I know he said he's been all over the US with it, so he would be able to put that thing in there and try to talk to his friends back home, so that's pretty cool. But anyways, back to this. We got everything in here cleaned out. We're gonna pull the air cleaner off of it, see if the carburetor still
Carburetes.
moves. And don't laugh at me because I'm short. I told Kayvon we might have to move this pop-up back just a little bit because it's the water splashing down on the windshield, and I don't want it to splash into the car. So. All right, we'll move that pop-up back just a little bit. Hopefully that's a little better. And you know, the weather's coming from that way, and it looks like we're not gonna get the sun, but the clouds thinned out a little bit, so maybe we'll get a little bit of a break from this rain. We'll see. All right, let's pull this agglomeration off of here. I'll put that there. All right. We're gonna set this somewhere in the way. Actually, let's set it on the seat in there. Right here, look. Don't let me forget that's in there, because I will. Well, carburetor's not seized up. That's a good thing. Whoa! Just kidding. Don't look too bad down in there. Got a manual choke, 2-barrel, and it's free, so we should be able to hear this thing bark off as long as it still turns. Let's see what we gotta do to get to this. Let's see if maybe we can pull on this fan. Nope, it's clutch fan, never mind. Be able to get to the crank bolt. Give me a few minutes to gather some tools up, and we'll see if this thing will rotate. Try to get it to rotate at least 360 degrees. Make sure there's no rust lips in the cylinders. But I'm pretty confident, guys. I think this thing will bark off fairly easy. I'm hoping. Might be a, let's not say nothing else, you know, because every time I say something like that, no good. Always bad. All right, let me get some tools together. Be right back. All right, ratchet.
What'd you call me?
5/8 socket. You heard me. Let's see if this thing turns.
Alley-oop.
Okay. All right. Uh-oh. Well, that's not a good start. Come on.
Have you tried swearing at it?
Oh, there we go. It moved. I'm riding this thing like a bucking bronc. Oh God, yep. Woo!
How you feeling?
Fat and old for as young as I am. Well, it turns. It's got plenty of compression.
By fat, he means pretty happy about a truck.
Phew. So, some of the first things we're gonna have to do before we pop this thing off, we're gonna have to pull the fuel line off of the fuel pump. We don't wanna pull any of that old fuel out of the tanks through there, through the carb. Hopefully, you know, with a carburetor, this doubles as a carburetor adjuster and a ratchet. So hopefully the needle and seat don't stick too bad. We can get some fuel into the bowl. It's not really gonna matter for popping it off at first, but if we can get some fuel pumping through that pump, hopefully the needle and seat aren't sticking too bad. We can adjust on it. So we're gonna take the fuel line off the pump, and I got a fresh battery over there. Throw that in here. Well, it was on boil mode before we brought it, so it's probably bad, if I'm being honest. We'll figure something out if we have to. Then I got some bad gas that's 32 3/4 years old that I took out of an old lawnmower and 3 tractors. We'll fill up a bottle and shoot that down the yap and see if she'll bark. But let's get that stuff done real quick, see if we can get this thing to make some noise. All right guys, we're since it's not raining right now, we're gonna
Shh, don't say that out loud.
Since it's not raining right now. We're gonna take a quick walk around the truck, check out, just talk about the truck, check out the truck. We'll take a look inside. I know you guys got to see a little bit, but there's some things in there that he told me about I'd like to tell you about. So right now, while it's not raining, we'll do that. So this thing actually has 2 saddle tanks, he told me. His dad put that in there since they took it so far away. Like I said, they went out to California, a bunch of different places. So he put those in there, so obviously they would get a lot more mileage out of the trucks. But he took the bench seat out. Took the bench seat out, put buckets in it. He said his dad had well, you can see the CB. That's pretty cool. But he had a console in here. He had a console here in the middle that he had all of his amateur radios in. TJ said it looked like an airplane console in here. It was pretty cool. But you know, got the buckets. Obviously, the squirrels really like this truck almost as much as I do. I really like this truck a lot. And mice too. There's some mice poo on there. Oh, and you can see where the mice got, well, they made a nest out of the wood here. So yeah, just yucky. Got some speakers up here. Looks like factory radio. AM FM, pretty cool. But let's walk around this thing, breathe it in. You know, it's been sitting a while. It's got moss growing on it. It was repainted. His cousin, did he say? I think his cousin or his nephew, one of the two, was taking auto body and he repainted it. But you can see that's wearing off. Some of the original color, the original, is that green, looks like, coming back through. And you can see back here, the bed or the tailgate didn't get painted because the tailgate wasn't with the truck when he painted it. So this is the original color. But I think the patina on this truck is super cool. You can tell this side has a lot of moss on it. Yummy. Lichens. Had some body work. Just a super cool truck. I think this summer we're gonna come back, pressure wash this thing, see if we can get air in the tires. This truck's gonna be around, guys. We're gonna come back and work on this truck. The plan, and I'll let you in on the plan. We're gonna try to get this thing back to where it's at least driving on the road. I know that would probably make TJ super happy. It'd make me super happy just to see one of these things back on the road. It's where it deserves to be. This thing's 54 years old, 1970. So, you know, like I said in my past videos, I got a 2015 Ford. That thing's not going to be around in 50 years. You know, it'll probably be in a junkyard somewhere. It'll probably be recycled, to be honest with you. It'll probably be on something else, aluminum and plastic, and they're just not made like this anymore. These things have definitely stood the test of time. Old iron. I love these old trucks. This is my favorite era of Chevy trucks, 67 to 72. But yeah, enough about the truck. It's super cool. I love it. And we're gonna see if we can make a run. You don't have to get so close to me. Okay. Sorry, guys. All right, let's get this fuel line off of this fuel pump so I don't forget, because I will forget, because I'm bad at that. Really bad at remembering things. Oh, okay. just stick there. This light's pretty cool too. All right, let's see. Come on, little fella. We definitely don't want to be sucking up anything out of the tanks. It's probably varnish and sediment and who knows. Watch me drive the struggle bus because I'm 6 inches too short. Kayvon's making fun of me.
Just a lot.
Come off of there. All right, I played nice. It's old, it's hard, it's brittle. We're just cutting it. Maybe. There we go. All right, fuel line is off. Now we won't suck any debris up from the old fuel. The tanks are plastic in this, so that's a good thing. Shouldn't be any rust in there. Maybe the hangers might have rusted, but the tank didn't, so that's a good thing. Let's check the oil. Before we get too crazy, let's make sure there's oil in it. How about that? Actually, not too bad. It's a little low, about half a quart low. Little thin. Still got some viscosity to it, I'd say. W30. High mileage. Nope. Nope, not high mileage. A little bit of gas. That was a good vintage that year. All right, oil's good. I did bring some oil, but it's enough to start it on. Let's get this battery out of here. I got a goodish bad battery that I brought with us. Hopefully it's not dead. Oh yeah, this had 2 batteries in it too. There's another battery tray down here. That was for the camper when they had the camper on here. Let's see. This thing actually still has the battery hold down in it. and it's actually coming loose. This truck is good. This truck is really good. I really like this truck. K-Bon's probably sick of hearing me say that, but I do.
Several turns later.
2 hours later. Let go. We'll just set that right there. The battery box is still intact, or the battery tray. Hope I don't get herpesiphylitis or whatever from this.
You got your tetanus shot, right?
Sure. Alright, and I brought this battery because it's the only one I got. And that's pretty much it. It's got a handle. So right now we're doing the smoke test. I don't smell anything burning. Let's go see if we got anything when we turn the key on. So it did click a little, so either the battery's dead or we just don't have a very good connection here. Let's see if we can clean those terminals out a little bit. Ah! Could have been killed. Let's see what we got now. Dang squirrels. Let's clean this ground up. see if we're just not getting a good enough ground here. Now let's see.
Definitely working. Oh yeah, buddy. Oh yeah, buddy.
She turns.
Go.
All right, guys, we took a few minutes, hooked up some jumper cables because I didn't have a jump box and my battery was dead. Could have swore I just charged it.
Yesteryear, maybe.
Whatever. So we let it charge. It charged up. Engine turns. Sounds pretty good. It's not galloping, nothing like that. So I think what we're gonna do now is give her some fuel. I got a special mixture here. It's just lawnmower fuel, basically, or weed eater fuel. Can't think of words all of a sudden. Ethanol free with some 2-stroke oil that'll help lubricate the upper cylinder. You know, get everything lubed up there since it hasn't ran in 13 years. We'll just pour some down in the carb. Then I'm gonna have Kayvon go in there and hit the key. That was way too much.
Hold this for me, young man.
Just gonna see if we can get this thing to bark off. I'm gonna stand to the side, that way if it starts to roll,
You ready?
I don't get run over. Yep, go ahead. Shut it off. Okay. Holy crap, guys. That started with absolutely no issue whatsoever. However, it sounds like the squirrels got into the bell housing. Sounds like there's one of those, a walnut or whatever those are. One of these guys rolling around in the bell housing. At least that's what it sounded like. Other than that, the valve train sounded good. Man, that thing started so easy. I can't believe that. And I didn't do anything. That literally, that was the first fuel that I put down into that carburetor. We haven't pre-started it. We haven't, I mean, we turned it and we cranked it just to make sure that it would crank over. It started right up, so that's super cool. I'm excited. Heck yeah. That thing popped right off. How cool is that? 13 years, guys. And it was gonna idle. It was sitting there idling. If I would have filled the bowl, this thing would have sat here and idled for a few seconds. I mean, small block Chevy, you don't get much better than that. Super cool. Let's, oh God, now I'm dying to just let this thing run for a few minutes. I don't know. Maybe we can get a jack. I didn't bring my jack, of course, because I didn't expect to be crawling around underneath this thing, but let's see if we can find a jack. If we can find a jack, we'll see if we can get this jacked up a little bit. Get under there, see if we can get the inspection cover off. If it's got an inspection cover. And see if we can get the crap out of the bell housing. Because that's what it sounded like was rolling around in there, some of them walnuts. Alright guys, it ran. You heard the marbles rolling around in the bell housing. I can't think again because I'm so excited. You guys have no idea. This truck will be back. So we will be doing some stuff on this truck. We're gonna come back, see if the tires will hold air. We're gonna get this thing up in the air, get that bell housing cleaned out one way or the other. Hopefully, I can't remember. It should have a inspection. I don't know, but we'll get that cleaned out, get that stuff out of there. I don't want to let it sit here and run with that in there. Walnuts are pretty hard, and I don't want to, you know, I just don't want to make a mess of anything. So I don't want to let it sit here and run. I was really hoping that we could just fill the bowl and let it idle, because that's what it wants to do. But I don't want to do it with that stuff rolling around. I don't know what else is in there. So we are going to come back, see if the tires will hold air. We're going to see if this thing moves once we get that cleaned out and get it idling. A lot of plans, guys. I'm excited. We will be back with this truck, but we did make it. We confirmed it does run, which is super cool. I'm so excited. But I want to get this thing back on the road. That's my goal with this thing. It's got a really cool patina, really cool everything. I mean, it's just a cool truck. This is my favorite era of Chevy trucks. 67 to 72. Just a really cool truck. Cool story with TJ and his dad. And I mean, he said they hit, you know, I was talking a little bit to him in between everything, and he did say, you know, they probably hit every state in the continental US, which is super cool for this truck. I mean, he said it probably has roughly somewhere around 300,000 miles on the truck and the transmission and all that stuff. But yeah, super cool story, super cool truck. Feel honored that I get to work on it. He let me come over here and work on his truck, and we want to get it back on the road for him, and that's what we're gonna do for sure. So make sure you guys like, subscribe, leave me a comment, good, bad, or indifferent. I'll get back to you. I appreciate your guys' support. It means the world to me. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook. I'm trying to figure out TikTok, but you know, I can only do so many things, and TikTok is, yeah. So appreciate you guys. I'll see you on the next one.